Okay, I'm just recording this one as a sort of spicy take real quick. So I played Mouthwashing recently, and it's in the little Twitter mentions because one of its devs is hating on someone for loving it because someone did fan art of like the girl in it with big boobs or something. Nobody cares. But because it's topical and because I like attention, I wanted to give you a really quick review of Mouthwashing, totally spoiler free. This is not a game. this is this is a book that you read by clicking. This is 100% on the rails. A story that you can't possibly lose in any meaningful way, and you can't change at all. It really is just a collection of scenes like from a book or a movie. Um, I, it's incredibly naked in this regard. There is nothing that even gives it a hint of this not being that. Uh, I mean, you could be fooled by think into thinking that it's like a game by the fact that like you buy it on Steam and that you can move your guy around, and you seem like you make decisions, but you really don't. You have no agency whatsoever. You can't screw it up. You can't fail. Um, it's just a movie. It's a good movie. I liked it. I really enjoyed it, and it had some really great little investment in it. There's a couple of fun little jump scares that really got me. There's a few times I laughed out loud. As you'll note, I've got some locked achievements, so I guess there's more to do. But for the most part, I don't care to. It's going to be the same experience again. I just watched this movie. I don't want to watch it again immediately. There's not enough in terms of gameplay for me as a guy who plays games primarily to want to re-engage with it. Like games. I like games. So the fact that this isn't one is really surprising. But not really. It's kind of in the same vein as what was it? Adios. I played Adios recently too. And I would also review Adios in the same way. There's nothing game about Adios. You cannot lose or fail in any meaningful way, and you can't change anything whatsoever. You are 100% on the rails. Um, and I've seen people defending that in audios too. Again, it's an artistic choice. You can do whatever the heck you want whenever you're designing your own stuff, which is really liberating, by the way, as a guy that makes my own stuff. But yeah, if like me, you're a big fan of games that you're expected to play that have like a challenge, you will absolutely not find that in mouthwashing. That is completely absent from this experience. I would never do not I refuse to even consider this in the same category as game at all. It's not a game. This is a story that you interact with in a different way. It's pretty much the apex of game as art, except that it has removed all game and it's only art. So this is just an art piece at this point. Um, that makes it kind of a poor argument for games as art, in my estimation, because again, this is not a game at all. Um, I'm not going to give you any spoilers. I will kind of give you an idea of the content. It's a very dark, spooky game set in space with a crew of crash survivors as they slowly like deal with the inescapable situation of being stranded in the middle of space with very very little hope of a timely rescue. Um, they're all kind of dealing with that in their own way, and the captain of this whole enterprise, so the acting captain, is the character you play, and the previous captain has been blown to bits. He's still alive, but he is just a stump of a man in the framing of like Johnny Got His Gun, where he's conscious and he can see, so he's still got one eye, but he can't communicate. He really can't move. All he can do is like moan in pain and like twitch and stare at you with his lidless, unblinking eye. So that's pretty grim. However, I would say that the characters are all very interesting and compelling characters. Many of them are quite lovable. I actually really like the captain, Curly. He's a cool dude, despite the fact he's more or less a corpse. I think he's a pretty nifty fella, and you get to play him in flashbacks a few times, which is fun. I really like the cast of characters. Anya, of course, is the standout. She's the only lady in the crew, and she kind of reminds me of who is that in The Shining? I can't remember her name. It's gonna drive me crazy. But yeah, she's kind of got a design that's reminiscent of like a Venn diagram of like her and Ripley from Aliens. So like that's like the character model, and she's really sweet, and she's a fun character. But all the characters are fun. I really like this cast, and the writing is top notch. So I highly recommend it. In terms of a story that you should experience, it's like what was it, $5? It's really cheap. Like the developers, despite the current drama, probably overall deserve your money. And again, my complaints are pretty minimal. Sometimes you want like a zen experience. I've been playing a lot of like liminal space exploration games, which again you can't meaningfully lose and only have one ending. Um, but those are fine. You know, sometimes you just want an experience and you're not looking for the challenge of playing a game whatsoever. And mouthwashing will absolutely give you that. I really also am a big fan of like the PS1 ish era graphics it has. It's very Fallout 1e, and I love that. I find it endearing and it's easy on the eyes. It tickles my autistic brain. So that's just really lovely, and they are able to get an enormous range of really satisfying storytelling out of incredibly and like deliberately uh, older style graphics. So a huge fan of that aesthetic choice. I think that they should be commended for it. So yeah, that's my brief review of Mouthwashing. Not a game, but still really good and fun. So I recommend it. All right, talk to you later, guys.